Well, for our parents that are joining us today, we are going to be talking about reconciliation or reconciling the individual rights and social justice. Uh, we, from what Major wrote in this book and from what we also observed, realize that there is a conflict between individual rights and social justice and the fight for social justice. And some people blame it to the Constitution. So we want to know whether it's true, it's one of the Constitution that is making these two things conflict, or it's an ideal thing that's even evident that even if they make changes or make amendments to the Constitution, still nothing can happen. Now, Akamfuya, I want you to justify is it true that it's the Constitution that is blamed for the conflict between the individual rights and the fight for social justice?
So I would like to encourage everyone, we all need to have a growth mindset. We cannot run away from the challenges that are happening in the society, from the fact that people have lost hope in the law, which is actually supposed to be like our refuge. I'm supposed to, as a human being, know that if my right is denied, or if this and this has been manipulated, I run to the law. I'm supposed to know the court as a place where I get my freedom, as a place where I get a solution if there is a problem. That is how it used to be. That is how we used to have maybe religious leaders or cultural leaders. You know that if you have an issue, you will go to the chief, and there's going to be mediation. We have alternative dispute resolution. There's going to be mediation, or you people can just sit on the table and discuss and see how to resolve a problem, which is not happening in the country. We cannot deny the fact that there is growth of corruption every day. You have to bribe the judge, you have to bribe the clerk, you have to bribe the lawyer. So you find that someone is even just going to give up on a case instead of going through all that process, which is most of the times it's very long. There's a lot of backlog at the court. So most people even nowadays do not even opt to go to court to solve a problem. Yeah. So people have lost hope in the society, in the law, and it is really, really heartbreaking, especially for us who are now students, law students who are going to graduate. We want to see the society believe in us. You know, we want to see the society know that if this one is a lawyer, if you take this and this problem, whether it is a criminal problem or whether it is civil, they are going to give you a solution. Now, you talked about Martin Luther King. We all know different icons in the society that have led us to where we are. We wouldn't be who we are without them. And they have fought for something. For example, Kwame Nkrumah from Ghana fought for Pan-Africanism, and you can never take away that. Yeah. So it is up to us right now, even with the challenges that are happening in the country. I wanted to supplement on my fellow panelists to submit that we all know that whatever is happening in the country today is a political matter. I can actually be working with a gun, and when they find me, they're not going to use the UPDF Act, you know, to take me to court. They're not going to detain me for months simply because they found me with a gun, right? But it is a political matter, and that is where it becomes complex, because people do not understand. They do not understand why just someone who is fighting for the society, for their rights and freedoms, which are clearly stated in the Constitution. Even though the Constitution is the supreme law of the country, and it is supposed to be followed. It's supposed to be respected. Human rights, like I submitted before, they are inherent. No one gives you your human right. The state is just there to protect, you know, your human right from being violated. The fact that you are human, you are entitled to any right that is stated in that Constitution. So I also submit that as the young scholars of the law, or as the future leaders, you could be a politician, you could be a law student, we need to see the challenges that are happening, but we also need to find solutions, because you cannot live in a society where you're being marginalized simply because you're not in power. This country embraced democracy, which is why we have different political parties. If there was no democracy, we would only have one ruling party, right? But it gives each person the right to belong to a specific party. It gives you the right to be affiliated to your FDC or, you know, NOPE, whatever you believe in, whatever you support. So afterwards, the same party or the same country that gave you right to democracy coming out and and what do they call it, harassing you simply because you belong to that political party is betraying its own values, right? So I believe that this country is a democratic one, and we need to see it by the country itself and the government respecting the laws which they initiate and which they interpret with the judiciary, which they make using the Parliament of Uganda. Thank you so much.
Wow.
We have just talked of, the law providing that for somebody who is arrested, they must not spend more than 48 hours before being produced in court. There is an act, if I may talk about the Public Order Management Act, very many people outside, especially the politicians, say this was merely passed to suppress those who were not in favor of what the government does, or those in the opposition. And that would be evidently true, because we all see it. Okay, I also see it, and you also see it. But I don't know that somebody out there also doesn't agree with that. How true is that? Because people say this is something that is only there, that was only put there to suppress the politicians in opposition, or the people who may not be a politician, but maybe just a supporter, but opposition supporters. And many of them have been denied the opportunity to really, socialize with others, to really campaign, to really make those public gatherings, and maybe, bring out their manifesto. Even the opposition politicians blame this on the government, and the reason that people do not understand the manifesto is because they don't feel given this opportunity. Can you talk about that?
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, everyone. I think my name was not introduced. Half of it was. My name is Aisha Alan. I'm a student of law at Macquarie University. I now tell my friends that I'm remaining 3 months to go out there the unsuspecting members of the public as a lawyer. I also serve as the Secretary General of the Africa Breakthrough Students Organization. It is an East African-based organization. Currently, we have presence in Uganda. We are soon launching our chapter in Tanzania very soon. We are laying roots in Kenya, Rwanda. As of now, but we have friends in membership. We have membership in institutions of learning, universities, secondary schools. Earlier last year, we launched Africa Christian Clubs at Uganda Christian University. A number of people here in this group were present. We had a number of places, and we are trying to propagate the ideas of Pan-Africanism. Until we talk about it, it cannot make sense. I just want to go straight to the question. It's quite a good one, because I'm doing my final year research, and here's my topic. My topic is exercising demons, wanting freedom of assembly, an analysis of the power of police to regulate assemblies. That is my topic. Today morning I was meeting my supervisor. I brought the Public Order Management Act, a law that I interrogated about a week ago, alongside its sister laws. And the crux of all the laws that I've interrogated on assembly is that both around the countries, so far that I've looked at, Kenya, Tanzania, Africa, some of them are progressive. China, Russia, they have one inherent approach to limitation of rights. It is extreme. It goes overboard, far beyond the necessary limitation. Ugandans, when they hear that they have rights, and this is unpopular, the assumption is that when they have a right, don't touch me. But the Constitution, the subsidiary legislation, stipulate modes of limitation. But the modes of limitation must be up to a certain test under Article 43 of our Constitution. Is it legal? Is it justifiable in a free and democratic society? And those students will have interacted with a number of decisions and movies where we had our one of the most popular people and men. So when we talk about the Public Order Management Act, when you open that document, it's actually one of the short acts of parliament that has great impact on people's assembly expression. And then when you add it to the Police Act, it gets worse. How? These are some of the things that that law will introduce. First of all, it seeks from its first introductory part to define what an assembly is, classifies assemblies, then at some point it writes with the Penal Code Act to define some as unlawful assemblies, others will be defined as riots, with very broad and ambiguous approach to what they are. So what you observe out there, that someone will come, you organize such a meeting, you have even informed the police, but the military will come and surround you and take you, because the law allows them on account of suspicion. So the Public Order Management Act is an empowering tool, which in my research I classify as a demon to freedom of assembly. That unless it is exercised, unless the remaining provisions of that law, one of them was struck down in 2020 in Q versus Attorney General. And it was giving the Inspector General of Police a lot of power. It was resurrecting another ghost of the same approach that was in the Police Act, Section 32. I'm sorry for oversighting the law. He asked me about the law. But I'm trying to say all this to show you that, and I will conclude with the part of social justice, that the so-called rights, majority of them are not absolute, that you can enjoy them without limitations. The challenge comes that the legal limitations, the administrative limitations, the factual limitations go overboard. That is why someone will be arrested randomly, no reason, nothing, but the law is allowed. Then they will charge them with some of the worst offenses you can ever imagine. Today when I was presenting the part that I was dealing with, I was demonstrating to my supervisor how offenses like common nuisance, idle and disorderly, rogues and vagabond are very colonial. They do not represent the current society. They were designed in those days to force people to work even when they're not being paid. And when they meet you on the street, you're supposed to be working, maybe on the road, the gardens, in someone's house. You are idle and disorderly. But because you are an African, you are becoming a common nuisance. You understand? Then even in the Roads Act, when someone becomes a nuisance on the road, recently they arrested members of FPC from Katonga on account of having had a meeting. When they were moving out of the meeting, they suspected that they intended to demonstrate. So they arrested them for common nuisance on the road. Those overreaches of the law affect what started with social justice. Social justice does not necessarily talk about individual rights. It goes to the social, economic, political rights. Social rights, you know, that we enjoy them in your society as members of the whole society. Political rights, you have the right to vote, you have the right to participate in an election right from the beginning, throughout the entire process, up to the end. Economic rights, you have the right to have land, right to work, and so many other rights. So as the entire community enjoys rights, eventually we realize that there is that arm of the law. And the overreach that happens, like you asked on assembly, it happens because currently in Uganda, the law justifies it. They will arrest you, they will even put you before a court, which you see some courts have been declared unconstitutional, but they have been legal for a very long time. I think they'll have it later.
Well, thank you so much, Mr. Allen. Now, to Mr. Wilson Mugazu. He just cited Article 43, which in my view or in other people's view is an article that just puts, that's just there in favor of the government, or that is just there to limit this other article, 27 and 29. After talking about the individual rights, telling us our freedoms and liberties, Article 43 comes in against the limitation of what the already told us we're supposed to be doing, or what we are supposed to be exercising our freedoms. Now, I want to ask you whether we can achieve social justice without despite maybe infringing on these individual rights.
Thank you so much for the invitation. I fellow Philip and supporter of the Mr. Kenja. dear fellow students, and all the interprets as well, are going to be in class over. My name is Wilson Magaju. I'm a student from Malaya University of Science and Technology. I love the fact that we are all collaborating on issues of national politics, and how I pray I'm so passionate in implementation as well, because I'm appreciating the fact that this room has many us. Personally, I'm a student about the cultural sciences and medical. But I love the fact that I appreciate everyone so much, because within my spaces and my areas of specialty, we need information. Information is power. In line with your question, maybe a little bit give another opinion different from what my colleagues or fellow panelists have said. Individual rights, these are freedoms, these are entitlements that every individual holds, and they are protected by the law. We believe that we people, we citizens of our country, are entitled to these rights. But rarely do we think that we can also be entitled of the law, appreciating the beauty of the Constitution and owning it. We come to realize that in our universities, in our small circles of leadership, we have disowned these constitutions, and we even think that the mandate of comprehending these clauses and sections is the mandate of the Speaker, because it is stipulated in our Constitution. How I pray that as aspiring leaders, as lawyers to things, from grassroots, as we become young leaders, can we first appreciate the fact that we have the law within our circles and students, and we know those laws and what constitutions in our different courses hold. Before we scale it up to the national level, I would highly think we can naturally spirit we are in a society is important, is respecting the law.
For me, my solution would be that we need to wake up from sleep and know that if it happens to, whether it happens to a lawyer, tomorrow it will happen to you. They normally tell us that if you misuse the law, or if you disrespect the law, tomorrow you will not find refuge if you're trying to, find a solution from the same law. So when you abuse the law, it will wait for you tomorrow to also come and, you want refuge, yet you were abusing it yesterday. So I pray that we all respect the law, and I pray that we all find it as citizens. It is your duty to have knowledge about these laws. It is your duty to know when your rights are upon, so that you can thrive in the society. Let someone not just misuse the law in front of you. When you know your rights, there's a way it makes a difference. It's like being self-aware. We know that you're good at public speaking. It will help you, because when you see an occasion, you will want to, So I pray that we respect the laws, but also I pray that you learn about the law. If you're a law student, sensitize the society. Join these organizations that give pro bono services. You could also find an opportunity there. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I am going to be really so fast. I want to conclude by saying this, that oftentimes we as the young people, the young men and women, have said that we are the future generation and that we are the future leaders. However, I want to say that by asserting that statement, without proving the same, is simply being as entitled as the old people are. That if you are claiming to be the future leader, how much of the policies of this country do you know? How much engaging are you, and what do you engage in? A young man like in a plan has authored a book. A young man like him is moderating a panel. Young men like them are on the screens. The world, I want to say that the world is a marketplace. We sell and we buy. What do we sell? What do we buy? It is 3 items. You have either one of the 3, all of them, or you are out of this chain. You have a product, you have an idea, or you have a skill. You in the audience, this is a rhetorical question. What do you have to sell to this world? That if a person came buying one of the 3, what do you have to offer? That's a question that you should be able to ask yourself. But also, how engaging are we in leadership? It is true, it's always been said, and I want to think it is true, that you are either at the table of decision making or at the menu for which you are just being served to be eaten. I want to challenge you that we are now in election season. Youth elections are up. I want to challenge you to go and partake of your area leadership, be it national level. Right now as we speak, I think I saw Honorable to be standing for MP of her constituency, the lady in red, Madam Stella Akangumia, aspiring to be MP for our constituency. That is the courage that we want to see, and so we need to be, we have a presidential candidate. I am told we also have a presidential candidate in the house. So that is what we want to hear. We are there to support. You have people to support you. If Major hadn't done this, we wouldn't be here to support him. So I applaud you and I challenge us to partake of things other than every other time ranting that we are the future leaders, minus proving it. We need to build substance. Let us go read, let's look for information, let's build networks, let's interconnect, let's solve problems other than speaking. Speaking is one thing, doing is another. President Emmanuel, we'll see you, no student. Thank you so much for having me.
I only give one solution. Vote them out. We are in the we are coming to 2026. And I want you to understand me. We went to Parliament to meet the committee in charge of justice and I think constitutional affairs. We were giving in our input about the marriage bill. I was concerned about the reasoning behind the provisions that they put that are against social justice. Look at competence. I'm not saying vote out this, vote out that. No. This is the only time you have to exercise your right to decide the fate of the laws, the fate of the government, the fate of your constituency, the fate of your health, the fate of everything. Those who think that politics have nothing to do with them, then you have nothing to do with the future of this country. So, participate. Participate in any political party. Me, I don't affiliate to any political party. But participate. And I vote for competence. It is just a practical solution. Vote and be sure I voted this person, even if it didn't go through. I stand on the side where I believe that there was a solution. Maybe one day, as he said, you will stand, contest for that position. Stand for those values of the person you voted. Do exactly what you wish to see. It's the best solution we can have in this period. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, my fellow panelists. Mine is going to be brief because I think at the end of every submission that I had an opportunity to, I've been offering solutions. Of now, I beg to submit the capabilities of a student leader as a president of students in the country. Let's have a mindset that originates from us. Because people who have power today, either by government or university administration, some, and if not majority, do not know what university policies say, do not know what the constitution of the country says. It is upon us, not only students of law, go internalize, scrutinize those university policies rather. Read them, understand them. There are many of our fellow students who are being harassed with our consent in class. Some are not attending lectures, but we are silent. And for you, it is a bit unfortunate that our university does not have lawyers. But you should set a pace for other universities that do not have courses of law. If such injustices take place within your universities, then what about us? Organize for such deliberations whenever there are such occasions or events. Mine is to say, we are a product of our own choices. And I think through such deliberations, after time, after 5 years, people will benefit. It may not be directly you, but your submissions, your deliberations, after 5 years that university can change, this Uganda can change. For God and my country, we struggle for liberation.
Wow, wow, wow. A very big hand clap to my panelists here. A big hand clap, please. I see people here. Yeah, it's not easy to give all the submissions that these people have given here. And indeed, even me personally, I've picked some things from what you've said. You've talked of, asked a question that is still ringing in my mind. What do you have to offer to the world? What's that you're selling? Is it the product, the idea? And the last one, you said, the skill. And still ringing in my brain. I think I'll answer that to myself and I leave here. But as we conclude, I want to appreciate the panelists for all your submissions. And I want to let the audience also understand that from all what they have submitted here, it's like they've all given, the solution they've given is a call to each one of us here to rise up, because they have said that we are products of our own choices. That's a call to, you know, rising up as an individual, as a person, come out and say, this is what I want, this is what I don't want, I want to be seen as so and so, this is my character. Just as Nelson Mandela says in his book, The Long Walk to Freedom, he says, nurture rather than nature is the primary mode of personality. And sometimes we just take these things for granted. You are around such big people, understanding people, but you don't want to take use the opportunity that you have at hand. Let's use the opportunities we have. Let's use the chances, the blessings that we have, of the friends that we have, and at least do something for ourselves. And in that way, we shall be able to achieve social justice. I remain Jacob Junior Mungesi. You can follow me on all social platforms. Thank you so much, and we may leave the stage.